Hi, I'm Rishi, a third year computer engineering student in the UK. I'm making this video to fill a void that I've noticed. Whenever I search software engineer intern on YouTube, all I ever see are American students in their 6th internship on their 3rd year of university. And that just isn't realistic in the UK market and the way that UK universities operate. So this video, I'm going to detail my experience trying to develop professional skills while in my time at university and how I went about doing it. I want to detail my time at one of the UK's biggest banks working as a tech intern. Notice I make a distinction now between tech intern and software engineer. The key difference being that software engineers are expected to create solutions to problems, whereas the tech interns were only expected to use those solutions proposed by the engineers to derive analytics, understand the data, and produce reports, and so on and so forth. So have an understanding of how the tech works, but not need to know, okay, this is an if statement, this is how this code works, this is how I need to write code. So, who would I suggest this kind of internship to? Obviously, as someone who's extremely technically focused and wants to develop my technical skills, I found early on that this kind of internship wasn't really for me. But there were people on the internship that I thought this is the ideal circumstance for them to develop professionally and learn skills that they wouldn't otherwise at university. I think if you're someone who isn't quite interested with your degree anymore, let's say you do computer science, you might do mechanical engineering, you might do biochemistry, right? Any of the above. And you find that you're not quite looking to do this full time, you don't want to do this post-graduation, it's a very common thing to happen. Lots of students go through it. And I think this kind of internship, they call it a tech internship, but because you can learn about finance, you can learn about how the interior of a bank works, you can learn about technology, right? A lot of broad variety of things. It really offers itself to being able to develop those kind of soft skills whilst also learning unique things that you can only learn in this kind of banking environment. So I think it's really impressive and important for people who are not sure what they want to do. I think it's a great internship. As for myself, I knew from day one that it wasn't quite the perfect fit. There wasn't that much coding going on, right? A lot of the code was outsourced to foreign countries. So what I found that I had to do was draw a line where I spoke to my manager early on. I informed him that, what tech stack, I asked him, like, what tech do you do? What coding languages do you use, etc., etc. And he could immediately tell that I was someone who really wanted to go further in depth than what his team could offer. His team worked on data analytics and used dashboards and things that engineers had made. So as soon as I showed that proactive nature, he moved me on to another manager. He spoke to a server management team who really did need the expertise of a Python engineer, someone who knew how to use Python, someone who knew how to use SQL. And I found that I could quickly make quality of life improvements to the employees that I was working with. So in my 10 weeks there, what did I learn? What was valuable to me? What was important that came out of my 10 weeks there? I think the first thing is the connections I made. I managed to meet individuals that were very driven, talented, and that's something that I can take forward with me in future career path, right? If I want to move into a certain field, I can speak to someone I know who might be in that field and ask for advice, ask for opportunities, ask for a reference, right? And the other thing is that when I'm doing interviews now, post-internship, I found that I can speak about my relationship with my manager, I can speak about the quality of life improvements, the tools I made to achieve those quality of life improvements. And those are all things very impressive to recruiters. They're all really impressed about how I was able to move to a team that I wasn't originally assigned to further my career, as well as make an impact to people where an intern isn't usually expected to. So those are all both things where I think that even if you can't achieve your first internship, you can't make your first internship a really good one, a really specific one, which is hard to do because the UK tech market isn't as strong as the UK finance market, hence why I find myself at a bank. It's really important to take the opportunities that do come, right? And I found that now I do have another internship this summer. That's a whole other video script, but I do have another internship this summer, and I would say that the lessons I learned and the experiences I had at my first internship, which wasn't quite as technical as I'd have liked, were invaluable in helping me secure the one that I really do want to continue with as a career path, the one that I'm passionate about. I hope this video was pretty informative as to how I went about getting an internship, how my internship went, as well as what I think people should learn about tech internships in the finance sector. I think the main thing to know is that they might not always be as technical as you envisaged, but you should always use them as an opportunity to develop professionally, right? Leave it in the comments if you guys have achieved your first internships, how you went about getting them, as well as what you learned, any lessons you learned. In terms of video, I would love for you to leave feedback on any way I could improve the audio quality, the video quality, or the way that the video is structured. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. Leave a like and subscribe.